Hello, friends. Hello and welcome. Welcome to yours and mine, Cozy Corner. My name is Amanda, and on this channel, we talk about books, and more books. Hello, friends, and happy holidays to you. So, today we're going to go over my December TBR list, and I'm going to be honest with you guys. I have changed this list like 75 times already. With that being said, I really don't know how many of the books that I have listed for this is actually going to get read in December because I keep changing my mind. I told you guys before I'm a mood reader and I'm feeling just really moody right now, which is why I can't decide what I really want to put on this list. But I did come up with some, so I'm going to tell you what it is and then we'll see what happens. All right, guys, so let's start and let me get to my handy dandy notes. So, the first book that I have on here is Second Chance Christmas by Jaquel J. Now, this book, okay, so let me back up. On one of the lists, because like I said, I had several lists. On one of the lists, I had two like Christmas stories, traditional Christmas stories, and it did not include this book, Second Chance Christmas, but I wanted to read it, but I wasn't really certain. I kept going back and forth. Well, Shauna C., who is one of my absolute favorite YouTubers, she read this book and she said that it was great. So I'm definitely going to read it because if she says it's great, I really trust her opinion. I think we vibe a lot off of the same books. So I'm going to put her link below. Please check out her channel. If you ever, are in doubt about whether or not, this is a good book or what should I read, go to her channel. She has plenty for you to choose from. But let's get to the synopsis of this book. So it says, being known as the daughter of the Sageport's town drunk, always left Faith Stone defending her mother and herself. Her only solace was her boyfriend, Rome. Even as a teenager, Faith knew she wanted forever with Rome Atkins. Their small town, her mother's struggles, and everyone's opinion of their relationship couldn't hold them back forever. After graduation, they will put Sageport behind them and start a new life together. But prom night changed everything. 15 years later, Faith, now a divorced single parent, finds herself back in Sageport for the holidays. The memories and pain are still fresh, as if everything happened yesterday, especially when she runs into Rome, who never left Sageport. The second book that I have is The Christmas Catch by Tony Shiloh. This is a contemporary Christian sports romance. So we have an NFL player that has been benched due to a career-ending injury. So he returns to his hometown of Peachwood Bay, Georgia. Then he runs into BB Gordon, who came home 3 years ago with a divorce certificate and her daughter. The connection between them is still strong, but he has no plans to stay in Peachwood Bay, and BB won't risk him leaving her again. As their hometown's Christmas festivities bring them together, he must decide if he's only home for the holidays or if the Christmas spirit that brought them together will last all through the year. Now, this will be the second book that I read by this author. Last year, I read You Make It Feel Like Christmas, and I believe this is a Christian author, definitely a Christian romance. And I really enjoyed that book, so I think that this one will be a good read. The next on the list I have is The A-List by Zoe Dean. This is a YA contemporary romance. This is book number 1 in the A-List series. So, after 12 years of exceptional grades, Anna has had it with her perfect academic record and her perfectly boring prep school life. So she jets off to LA, where in the course of 24 hours, she'll hit an Oscar winner's wedding lounge at an after hours backlot party and meet a guy she just might fall in love with. Life couldn't be going better for Anna. That's until Cammy, Sam, and Dee enter the scene. They are the A-list and no one steals their spotlight. Now, this is a book that I got from Goodwill, and it's also a book that I'm reading because it was the prompt that I had for my reading journal. So I definitely attach the link to the Goodwill series for this book, and there's another one on this list from that video as well. Okay, next we have Always Time to Die by Elizabeth Lowell. This is a mystery, suspense, crime, thriller book. This is book number one in the Saint Kilda Consulting series. We have the powerful Quintrell family of New Mexico that has spent decades in the public eye. Now, the recent death of the clan's patriarch, a former U.S. Senator, has placed his son, Governor Josh Quintrell, squarely in the spotlight as he prepares his run for the highest political office in the land. Researching personal history isn't just Caroline, aka Carly Mae's profession, it's her passion. So when the governor's eccentric Aunt Winifred invites Carly into the Quintrells' private compound to compile a genealogical record of the illustrious residents, she can hardly believe her good luck. But digging into the past is raising troubling questions about the would be president, private life, his late father and catatonic mother, and the grisly street crime that left his notorious drug addicted sister dead. And it soon becomes frighteningly apparent that the motivation of the doty old woman who hired Carly might be something more akin to revenge, and that someone is determined to remove the inquisitive genealogist from the picture by any means necessary. This was the second book that I got from Goodwill. So I'm glad that I'm able to at least take two of the books that I just got off, because I don't feel like my physical TBR is out of control, but I definitely don't want it to become out of control. So next we have The Wife Between Us by Greer Hendricks and Sarah, forgive me, I'm about to mess up this name, Pekina. I'm not certain how you say that, but this is a contemporary mystery psychological thriller. When you read this book, you will make many assumptions. You will assume you are reading about a jealous ex-wife. You will assume she is obsessed with her replacement, a beautiful younger woman who is about to marry the man they both love. You will assume you know the anatomy of this tangled love triangle. Assume nothing. Say less. I'm with it. The next book is The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. Now, I know Frida McFadden is a big name. Um, I don't know if this book came out this year or last year, but I've read maybe two or three Frida McFadden. So, I haven't read all of her stuff. So I'm going to go over the synopsis because I know there's some people like me, like we know the name, we've heard the book, but we probably don't know, all of us don't know much about it. So this is a mystery psychological thriller. And I do believe that this is actually, they've made a movie that comes out in December, I believe, from this book. But this is book one in the Housemaid series. And so it says, every day I clean the Winchester's beautiful house top to bottom. I collect their daughter from school and I cook delicious meal for the whole family before heading up to eat alone in my tiny room on the top floor. I try to ignore how Nina make a mess just to watch me clean it up, how she tells strange lies about her own daughter, and how her husband, Andrew, seems more broken every day. But as I look into Andrew's handsome brown eyes, so full of pain, it's hard not to imagine what it would be like to live Nina's life. The walk in closet, the fancy car, the perfect husband. I only try on one of Nina's pristine white dresses once, just to see what it's like. But she, but she soon finds out, and by the time I realize my attic bedroom door only locks from the outside, it's far too late. But I reassure myself the Winchesters don't know who I really am. Or I'm sorry, they don't know what I'm capable of. Now, this to me sounds like a whole lifetime movie. And if they're making this a movie or have made a movie out of this, it's probably going to feel like one of those lifetime movies, but hopefully it's good. Now, last on the list here, I have Krampus, the Yule Lord by Bram. So, this is a Christmas horror, mythological, urban fantasy. And if you have watched any of my videos, you probably heard me mention Bram. He is one of my favorite horror authors. He wrote Lost Gods and Evil Within Me and several other books, but those are two that I read this year. One was a reread for me. So this would be book number 3 that I'm reading by him. So I trust that it's going to be really good. Short little blurb. Santa Claus, my dear old friend, you are a thief, a traitor, a slanderer, a murderer, a liar, but worst of all, you are a mockery of everything for which I stood. You have sung your last ho, 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 for I am coming for your head. I'm coming to take back what is mine, to take back Yuletide from Krampus. Now, just in case you're not familiar with Krampus, this is in the folklore of some Central and Eastern European regions. It's a frightening spirit typically depicted as two-legged goat-like figure with horns, said to punish naughty children on St. Nicholas Day. Now, Brahm, he's dark, okay? He's dark. He write dark stuff. So just like with any book that I would recommend or talk about, I always say check your triggers. I don't know what triggers, if any, that this book has, but because it's Brahm, I know it's a huge possibility. So if you decide to read this book, please check it out. Now, all right, guys, so that's the end of the video. That is a list of 7 books. The average amount of books that I usually read per month is around 10. So 3 of them I have just left blank because, again, I'm being kind of moody right now as far as what I want to read. So I want to leave those open so that, I can just, stick whatever I want to in there and leave the rest as is. But, there's a strong possibility that I might change those as well. But anyway, we shall see. That's my 10 list. That's my 10 for December. So, guys, you know what I want you to do? What I need for you to do is to please like, share, subscribe. And of course, thank you for being here with me. I look forward to seeing you guys later. Love you. Bye.